Right. There's a whole branch of mathematics that is called statistics. Most people would just call it stats, but statistics. And that whole branch of math deals with taking and organizing data. Organizing data. So, for example, you know, if by some chance I asked every 6th grader their shoe size, and I don't want halves, but as quickly as you can, if you could just tell me what your shoe size is without much thinking here, and if you don't know, I suppose you can make something up. But Bella?
75s.
Taylor?
7.5s.
No, I don't want a half. Just give me the whole.
10.
10,
9.
7, 9,
10.
10. Sammy?
7.
7. Alex?
8.
Oh, find me an 8.
3.
3. Andrew or Noah?
6.
6.
7.
7. Maybe so 7.
8.
8. Caleb?
5.
Caleb?
9.
You get all 11s yet here. Brooke?
8.
8. Kayleen?
7.
7. Stu?
9.
9. Caleb?
7.
7. Ava?
8.
8.
6.
6.
7.
7.
7.
7. All right, if I asked you all your shoe sizes and you gave me this, okay, this is what we call just raw data. Okay, raw data, because it's not organized in any way, and really looking at it, you could look at it and go, well, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of 7s there, but other than that, the data doesn't mean a whole lot to us until we organize it. Okay, one of the first ways we're going to organize it is we're going to make a line plot. It's a good way to organize data. Have you done line plots? Oh good, then we'll do it today. Basically, for a line plot, what you do is you start with a number line that has the range of numbers you have up here. What's the smallest we have? We have a 3, and it goes all the way to 10, correct? 4, 5, 6, sorry, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you put all the numbers that you have on that number line, hopefully they're relatively close. And then for each number, above its corresponding number, you just put an X. So here, above the 5, I put 1X. That takes care of this 5. And I have a 7, and then a 10, and then a 9, and then a 7, and a 10, and an 8, and a 9. So every value up here is going to get an X on the bottom line there. So I have another 7, I have an 8, a 3, a 6, 2 more 7s, a 5, an 8, a 7, a 9, a 7, an 8, a 6, and 2 more 7s. Okay. Now, once we have this line plot, you can look for what we call in the math world kind of like clusters, or places where you see big groups of X's falling, and you can probably make, you know, what little deduction could you make here? Yeah, I mean, most people, you know, if you were a shoe salesman to these 6th graders, and you wanted to know how many of each kind of shoe to bring, and you guys are probably a good representation of all 6th grade classes. If I was going to Yorkville, and you know, there's 400 plus kids in 6th grade at Yorkville, and I wanted to know how many shoes to bring if I was selling them, you know, this would give me a good indication. I'd probably better stock up on the 7s, and probably the 8s, and maybe the 9s. You know, I don't probably need much in the way of 3s, but maybe those feet will grow eventually. Okay? And this is one way to organize it into a nice, usable kind of something. You know, the other thing is this, you know, if I asked you for the range of data, what is the range of shoe sizes? Right away you can look on here and say, oh, the smallest one is 3 and the biggest one is 10, so that's a range of 7 if you subtract them. Whereas if you just have these numbers sitting here, you'd have to try and go, okay, I see a 3, is there a number lower than a 3 here? And then I see a 9, is there one bigger than a 9? Oh, there's a 10, is there one bigger than a 10? So you always want to try to take your raw data and then organize it into something that's a little bit more organized or useful to you. And when it comes to data, we have 2 different types of data. We have one that's called quantitative. Quantitative. Is there 3 T's in a row there? Quantitative. And qualitative. If you had to guess what the difference between quantitative and qualitative would be, it would be what? Actually, if you're following along, you can look at page 212 with me. Well, what word do you see in quantitative? Quantity. Okay. That would mean how many, or you're talking about number-wise. Okay? Like if I asked, you know, how many kids are in your school, that's a quantitative number. It's a number. Okay? Whereas qualitative comes from the word quality, which quality comes in categories. Okay? Something that you wouldn't answer for a number. A quality. A quality would be, you know, your favorite color. The month you're born in. Okay, it wouldn't be something that you'd give a number for. You know, quantitative, how many pizza did you eat? That's quantity, it's a number. Qualitative, what kind of pizza do you like? It's quality. Yeah, cheese, none of that, that stuff there is all kind of. Take a look at page 212. Are you there? Because we're going to look and see if you can tell me the difference between whether these are quantitative or qualitative.
212.
Page 212 in your proverbial math bookage. Number 1, Mr. Jagdish. How would you like to go through life with that name? Collects 50 bags of clothing for a clothing drive and counts the number of items in each bag. Is that a qualitative or a quantitative? So talking about the qualities or how many, Maggie? Quantitative, because it's how many. It says how many. How many, the number of items. Number 2. For 1 hour, Carlos noted the color of each car that drives past his house. The color, Alex, is it's qualitative, yeah. Number 3, Sharon rides a school bus from home after school for 2 weeks to measure, she measures the time the bus trip takes, measuring the time. Would that be a quality or a quantity? A number or a characteristic? Ron? Quantitative, yeah, it's a number. It'd be a number. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. Bridget asked each student in her class, which is your favorite holiday? New Year's, Thanksgiving, or Independence Day? Qualitative or quantitative? Sammy? Right, it's a quality. You wouldn't give a number. Is your favorite New Year's, Thanksgiving, or Independence Day? 5. That would make sense, wouldn't it? No, probably not. All right. Marcelo asked each player of his Little League team, which Major League Baseball team is your fave? Which team do you like the least? Would that be asking for numbers or types? Quantity, Grace, qualitative, yes, and number 6, no, let's not do that. Look at the bottom numbers there, what's it say to do? Oh, there's the line plot on top of page 213. What does that line plot tell you? Number of hours watched per week. Based on that, what could you kind of deduce? Looking at that, most people here surveyed watch about how many hours per week, which I would find, unless people have stopped watching TV, we should make one of how many suppose would you watch a week, Noah?
Maybe like 7.
So you think every night you watch maybe just 1 hour of TV or not?
Every.
It says every week. Watched per week. Were you going per day? Were you going to put 7 hours per day?
No.
So i.e. when you get home from school and you finish your schoolwork, do you plop in front of the television set?
Yeah.
So figure out, how many hours would you say a day you'd watch? Then multiply that by 7.
12.
2 a day? That's unfortunate. Skip that. What do we got here? I really don't feel like doing anymore. Grace, is it your birthday? Did you bring birthday treats?
You didn't share with us.
Well, how about that?